Everyone. Welcome to our Mysticsense series on spirit guides. Today with us is Countess Nadia Starella with Mysticsense. Now, we're going to try something a little new and ask a question to our audience before we dive into this fascinating topic. Is it possible for a spirit guide to turn against you? And if this happens, what are the signs and what should you look out for? Now, that's a question for our audience to remember or to answer while we are discussing this fascinating topic. Before we dive into our topic, could you please share a little bit about yourself and your spiritual practice?
Welcome to the blissful world of Countess Nadia Starella. Clairvoyant, empath, intuitive, raconteur, author, DNA research scientist, polymath, luminous prophetess, channel of angels, classic film historian, and many, many more. I, daughter of New Orleans, guide you on an insightful journey to love and laughter. My multicultural background gives me the ability to connect to people from every echelon of existence, find out what's going on with them, and come up with diverse, divine, and remarkable solutions. I am so honored to be here. I've been waiting for all of you for such a long time. 300,000 reads approximately. After that much experience and 50 trips around the world, I am certain I can help you in any area.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Very exciting. So let's dive into spirit guides with our first question. What are the different types of spirit guides, such as angels, animal guides, and ancestors, and how do they guide and protect us?
Yes, we have those that you mentioned, the angels, the animals, the ascended masters, the First Nation people, and that will include the ancients, such as the Mayans, Aztecs, Egyptians, etc. And we have the interdimensional beings from other realms, such as the Atlanteans, the Pleiadians, Orionids, the masters in many fields can assume a role as a spirit guide. And it is wise to tune in to all these fascinating entities. They seem to be there waiting to help us and can guide us through making decisions, finding things, finding ourselves, climbing up the ladder of success. It's almost like having friends who know a lot about you and want to help.
Thank you. So let's discuss the unique roles and characteristics of each type of spirit guide.
The angels are primarily known as sweet companions, healers, guardians, protectors. They often find us when we are very young and are frequently mistaken for imaginary playmates. But we knew they weren't imaginary. We knew they were there. They are gentle and sweet, kind. Let's see how the masters behave. The masters give us information that they've gathered through many centuries, and so do luminaries, like the first ones who came to me, very, very young. Albert Einstein, Van Gogh, sharing their wisdom and knowledge about their craft, which somehow they were able to understand that I had a great interest in this. Now, when it comes to the travelers, the interdimensional beings, they bring us accelerated intuition, advanced wisdom, secrets of all types, but frequently quantum healing techniques, which all of us are looking for. And each guide brings a kind of companionship and understanding of who we are. I find the whole process completely remarkable.
Yes, very interesting. That's fascinating that you've had experiences, like you said, with Einstein and Van Gogh and individuals like that. That is a really powerful, interesting type of spirit guide as well. Maybe if we have more time, we could elaborate a little bit on that. But we probably should move into our next question first with how can individuals identify their personal spirit guides and understand the guidance that they offer?
First, you realize that these are gentle allies. They are fascinating, charming characters. They are near you and you will recognize some of them. And the ones that are not immediately recognized, you can even ask them. I feel a presence here. You might see them out of the corner of your eye. And the elementals are in this group too, like the mermaids and the fairies. When the mind has a sort of joy and faith, all these portals open up much more easily. So I have a feeling that the gifted viewers know quite a bit about these things just from their own experiences. But if they're learning about them, then it is so beneficial to cultivate a feeling of joy, an idea that you're faithful, that you know something's there besides what can easily be seen. So the identification comes from experience, practice, experimenting. And when the heart is at peace, the miracles.
Very beautiful, and that's so important to have that trust and that faith in yourself that what you're experiencing is not in your head, it's not made up, it's a real phenomenon. And that can open up that door of curiosity as well to learn more about these guides that are helping you. So, what techniques can individuals use to connect or communicate with spirit guides through meditation, dreams, or divination?
Meditation is a lovely and useful technique. And one doesn't always have to use a traditional type of meditation. Once you're ascending this ladder of inner realization, you'll get to a point where you realize that you can be in a meditative state from many simple, ordinary earthly behaviors like listening to music, drinking cafe au lait, looking at a picture of a friend. And if you're led to an ordinary or an orthodox or traditional meditation, this too will calm the soul, allow the mind to focus, develop its cognitive expansion. And in this relaxed state, it seems to be easier for most people to feel the presence of spirits. I am sure you have felt them. And it is an edifying, wonderful thing to have in one's life. It allows you to step outside the ordinary boundaries of earthly existence, some of which are a little on the tedious side, and into that other realm where you know there is something very special about the way you look at them and at life.
Wonderful. What is your favorite meditation technique?
Let me get to it, but if you don't mind, I'll make one quick reference to the past question, dreams. I hesitated to mention dreams. If you can remember some of your dreams, you will meet your spirit guides there. For me, music is the first, the easiest. The music creates a frequency that allows the mind to settle, to quiet itself, so that the soul, the infinite presence, can take over. Nature, one of the simplest ways. You can see a child. You can see Isaac Newton and Einstein sitting out in nature and getting into that peaceful alpha state. The moon, the stars, the sun, the birds, the trees, they're vibrating in a very harmonious resonance with you. And then, of course, breathing techniques for, once again, quieting the mind, getting the soul in the space of breathing in the magic that is all around you. And that allows you to recognize your greatness, to widen your horizons, and to stop the racing that seems to be distinct to 21st century life. We need to relax and slow down a little to connect with the other worlds available to us.
Sure, definitely. Very important to take that pause, take that break, um, and reconnect with who we are on a soul and a spiritual level. So I actually also have a meditation technique for those who are beginning this practice. Um, like you mentioned, the breathing is wonderful. Just focus on the breath, the in and the out. You can also, if there's thoughts that pop up in your head, just imagine that they are like clouds and they're floating by, and you can see them, you can observe them, just allow them to pass through your mind. Don't attach to them, acknowledge them, but don't hold on to them. And that is one way to get into that quiet, centered place. Um, and another way, like they mentioned, divination technique in this question, is to do cloud gazing. Like when we're children, a lot of us look up in the clouds of the sky and we see shapes or animals or symbols. Doing that as an adult can be a great divination technique to receive those messages and that insight from the spirit and from your guides as well. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I love that idea. I've felt the magic of the skies and the clouds, and the animals too. The animals bring us a kind of companionship and help us to get focused on our true purpose.
Definitely. So, how can individuals ask for signs and messages from their guides? And what are some effective ways to receive these messages?
If you recognize a spirit near you, you can ask. You can say, I feel you near me. Have you something to tell me? I'm seeking guidance in this arena, this area. When you're tuned in, you will hear whispers. Sometimes you will even see an image. And as you said, you are awake, aware, observant. You're not in the asleep state. You're monitoring everything around you, and you can notice things, signs like feathers or a scent of something. As you said, the clouds are away. It's okay to ask, and it's okay to say what is important to you, what you most need help with. And these beautiful entities are around. They seem as though they've been waiting for us to acknowledge them or request help. With a little courage and experimentation, you will find your guides.
Definitely. Very well said. Thank you. So, can you offer guidance on interpreting the signs and messages from spirit guides for practical guidance in daily life?
So, our lives are so filled with things that need to be done. And this is where we're hunting for solutions, answers, strategies, confirmation of what our beliefs are, something to remind us that this vast cosmos has a place for us. We need answers, we need help, we need companionship. The signs are around us, and practical wisdom, positive transformation are right there within our grasp. We see how we feel about things. We allow ourselves to activate many aspects of our own personalities. When we're dreaming about our majesty, images start to come to us. We hear these gentle whispers. We feel that we're being caressed by something or touched on the shoulder by something that we often cannot even see. But we know we are being helped. We are being given some extraordinary powers that we want and need from these creatures. So, by being focused, awake, aware, observant, tuned in, excited, enthusiastic, we start to get little hints of the answers and the things that we most love and need.
Thank you for sharing that. Um, And those signs are often very personal to you as an individual as well. So don't be afraid to experiment and think about, what does this symbolize in my life? What does this mean in my life? Oftentimes they are symbolic, not always. They're not always symbolic, but a lot of times they are. And I know one sign that many people mention they get from their spirit guides, their angels, their ancestors is numbers, angel numbers. That is one very popular sign. I'm not sure if you want to say anything about that. Have you experienced them yourself? Like one.
Oh, of course. I'm so glad you brought it up. Thank you. Thank you. And a lot of my devotees say that numbers appear. They'll see them in a frequent succession: 222, 1111, 91, 99, 234. We have these personal numbers, and of course, we can research them and see if they're connected to angel numbers or intellectual stimulation numbers. There are all kinds of things there, but it's very comforting to have a group. For me, I love 22s, I love 36, I love 1111. They appear frequently, and I call them cosmic bingos. Every time I see one, oh, here's a breakthrough, here's a link. Okay, it means something wonderful is about to happen. So, if you're not sure what the numbers mean to you, it's perfectly okay to imagine something beautiful is about to occur. When I see this, I feel I'm watched and protected, often connected to the guide, and they must be bringing me something that is totally.
Yes, wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. One of the number symbols I've found that shows up frequently in my life is 1, 2, 3, 4. And for a long time, I wasn't sure what that meant, but I decided, intuiting it and researching it and seeing it as a sequence, it was things happening in a certain order. So it was like the universe's way of saying, hey, it's time for the next step, or it's not time for that step yet. We have to go in order. And that's what it meant for me, that it was a time to kind of move on to the next step of where I was currently, whether or not I was aware that I needed to move on or not. Um, that's so it's going to mean different things to different people. Sometimes it means you need to, take that next step. Sometimes it's just a confirmation that you're on the right path. Sometimes it's a little nudge saying, hey, pay more attention to the messages from spirit. But the numbers are definitely really powerful. I know a lot of people experience them as well. So that's one way a sign or symbol can come through. Again, you mentioned the feathers. That's another common one, different colored feathers that people find frequently. Some people may receive a message through like a coin, like finding a penny on the sidewalk. There's many, many ways. It's just a matter of paying attention, listening, and using that intuition to say, what does this mean for me? What does this symbolize to me? Um, and that's how you can receive that message from your guides, especially if you ask for it. So our next section is, how can listeners connect with their spirit guides through meditation, and what benefits does this practice offer?
By quieting the relentless chit chat of the mind, the higher self, the ascended self, the aligned self begins to lead us to what I believe is our true destiny: consciousness. It awakens consciousness and it changes us, and it brings clarity and detachment from ordinary earthly cares and duties. All of the aspects of our true selves begin to emerge if the mind is not trying to get us off track. The soul is always in place in a heavenly state, able to withstand anything without much reaction. But the mind is trying to get us not to think that everything is perfectly wonderful. The great aspect, the great power of meditation is to get that mind smaller and smaller and quieter so that we can go from ordinary to extraordinary, and we can finally connect with the peace that the masters have been trying to teach us for thousands of years. All masters meditate in different ways, of course. It's personal, so that you can find the thing that works for you. Some can do it through certain kinds of movement too, like qigong or ballet. Dance often brings one into that quiet state. Find the thing that works for you. Try them all. And if you haven't experienced the beauty of the relaxation of meditation, then tell yourself, I'm going to find it. You can set a time. The mind loves to have a time. Okay, by 12:12, by 11:11 a.m. p.m. That's the time where I am totally able to relax. Of course, not if you're driving. And I am going to get the keys that I've been searching for to the ultimate connection to everything that is there.
Wonderful. I like that you brought up dance. That's one that isn't frequently mentioned, but I want to add even music as like playing an instrument can also be very meditative. And you had mentioned qigong, and I was thinking about tai chi as well. Is a pretty common one. It's a type of martial art. Tai chi is very slow movements, but they're very coordinated, they're very intentional, and that's a good way to control your energy as well. But yeah, there's many, many ways to meditate. You don't just have to sit there, close your eyes, and listen. You can also do active meditation. Like a walk in the woods, a walk in nature can be a form of meditation. It all depends on your intention and how you approach it, and what you're thinking about during it. And with this question, I was reminded of a Reiki principle: do not worry. Just for today, do not worry. And I recently am taking a Reiki class, and they talked about this principle in the form of that worry is a form of fear. It's a fear for the future. Yeah, so by worrying about what's going to happen, we're actually showing a fear of, what potentially may happen in the future. And having, getting rid of that worry, getting rid of that fear, acknowledging it for what it is, saying, I'm not even going to think about that, because if you're creating that kind of negativity in your mind, that's what's going to start to propel forward into your reality, into your connection with your spirit guides. And this is supposed to be about, having these profound spiritual experiences, at least in my opinion, and not about, being afraid of what's going to happen in the future. Do you have anything to add to that, Countess?
Gentle listeners, prepare for a billion-dollar secret. You are wise enough to grasp what I am about to say. You, my host, and our wonderful viewers. Words carry a weight. We all know it, but we don't always realize that with a tiny shift in the words we use, we can gain a power that is unfathomable. And let me explain it because of how you have just spoken. I won't say the W word, the WORRY word. I won't say the FEAR word, because I have created this thing with another mentor called Positives, which is positive speaking. Just imagine if starting tomorrow, no one ever used either of those two words. They can be replaced with things that the cells love. This is where my DNA scientific research comes in. Let's say we turn WORRY into a slight concern. A way of understanding rather than imagining something that's not perfect for me. And the other one, the FEAR word, let's replace that with a slight insecurity. I might have a slight insecurity about it because the mind knows very well what FEAR is. So it will create it just because it hears us thinking, they're directing me to think about this. These are revolutionary principles. But I'll tell you this, the people that I've taught them to, who have embraced them, have seen the most wonderful overnight changes. Well, my favorite is kids, because kids get it very quickly. For instance, I'm so excited I could unlive instead of DIE. They don't even want to say a word that they don't like because they've gotten the message that the word carries an atomic weight. And it's just as if I tell you, don't think about lemons. You can't help it. You have to think about lemons. I hereby remove the W word and the F word from you and anybody else who's watching. We're going to evaporate into little snowflakes. And this is an important part of meditation too. Beautiful words. Let's say what we most wish to achieve. We want to have confidence, courage, an ability to face everything there is without clouding it or coloring it with any word that is something we just don't want in.
That's very, very true. Our words are creating our reality. They're creating our thoughts all the time. And it's very important, to speak the way we want to experience. I like that, a slight insecurity or, uncertainty instead of other words that are more powerful, but have a more okay. So can you please guide our listeners today through a meditation to meet and communicate with their spirit guides? This may take a little bit of time, everyone, so make sure that you're not driving, you're not doing something that you need to pay a lot of attention to, because we are going to walk through a meditation. So make sure you're sitting preferably, or you're in a safe place so you don't have to, pay a lot of attention to anything else right now. So please don't do this while you're driving. But let's go ahead and do our guided meditation. So yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Breathe in deeply, my friends, the magic that surrounds you. This is the moment where you recognize your genius, as will others, now and forever. Fill your mind with peace. Embrace the power that arises from it. You are a perfect child of the universe, with treasures kings and queens only dreamed of. You're surrounded by mystical entities, magical creatures. They have heard you. Some of them have waited thousands of years to hear you laugh, to see you receiving gratitude, acknowledgement, wonder. Keep this joy and faith. Allow some peace as the mind learns to be peaceful. The guides find you easily. They're already looking. They're near you. The joy allows you to easily open the imagination, which will collect the most beneficial spirits. Summon them. Summon them. Feel the angel wings gently caressing you. Feel the soft touch of a spirit who wishes to help you with your life. They're always there for you, always caring, always listening, and ready to assist you in navigating the ship of life.
Thank you for sharing that guided meditation. So while our viewers are in that space, try to use your senses to become aware or remember what you saw, who you saw, how they made you feel, any messages, anything you were given. And if you can, try to write those down, because those are really great ways to connect with your spirit guides, your spirit guides that we have met. And, if you saw them, if you felt them, if you were given anything, if you saw anything, make sure you write that down and you revisit that and you think about that as a message from your guide. Lovely. Okay. How can regular meditation with spirit guides enhance an individual's connection and understanding to their guidance?
Meditation pulls you out of the ordinary world. It gets you into space where you are able to see things that escape you when you're in the ordinary fast-paced life. And there's so many distractions. And it's not easy to get those little distractions away from you. But when you're in that peaceful alpha state, when you realize your understanding self and some flowing energy is coming to assist you, suddenly there's a feeling that you can do almost anything. The relaxation techniques are treasured throughout the ages, and we can use them and make them part of our existence so that when you need, even in ordinary daily life. When you need a moment, you can step back and go, I'm peaceful, I'm poised, I am one with the universe. I can instantly transform myself into this place where I suddenly feel as though I have a lightness. This is another thing that the angels bring. The angels bring us this lightness, and they're frequently floating around when you're in the meditative state.
Very interesting. Now, I also want to say, like, the more that you do these practices, the stronger your connection is going to become with your guides, at least your conscious connection, and the more effective, the more powerful it's going to feel. On the topic of spirit guides, I used to do a daily spirit guide meditation where I would simply go into that meditative state and ask my guides to step forward and to join me. And I would take a moment to feel them coming close, and and I would communicate or just feel whatever messages I'd ask if they have a message for me. I'd receive it, and then I would ask them to step back again as I left the meditation. And doing that, it sounds simple, and it is simple, but the more you do that, the deeper your connection with your guide is going to become. And the more confident you're going to feel working with them and develop a real true relationship with your guides. And I feel like that's really what's important about making it a regular practice is developing that relationship, because relationships are two ways and they require time and effort. They require dedication, and that's what you're creating with these daily or regular meditation sessions. Do you have
Beautiful.
anything to add?
You are such an aware, awakened soul. How fortunate I am that you are guiding this podcast. I feel like the luckiest woman alive. And I hope our viewers will feel that, come and see us, get readings whenever they need us, and embrace the idea that they are not alone. We are right beside you. I love your way of doing these guided practices. Charming.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely check us out on Mysticsense. We're both psychic advisors. Countess Nadia Starella and myself, Phoenix Normal A. I'm not sure if you have a set schedule that you're online. I was trying to be online every Monday evening, but that's that's easier said than done, honestly. But I do try to get on Monday nights if I can. So that's probably the best time to try to find me. What is your schedule like, Countess Nadia?
I am usually there 5 or 6 nights a week, late night Eastern time, around 1 or 2 a.m. Eastern for a few hours. And may I throw in, do we have time for me to throw in a line from a great song I have about the Bodhisattva Master Spirit Guides?
So on the topic of timing, we actually are way ahead of schedule. So we have a good 15, 20 minutes. We have quite a bit of time. We could even go on another half hour if you would like to. So feel free, go ahead, share whatever you want to share
Right.
on this topic.
This is a great song. I also am Bodhisattva, and I thought I would write this little tune. I don't know how, are we allowed to mention celebrities' names on our podcast?
That's a good question. I would say no. Um,
But if
I don't think we have an official rule on that. I would say no, just counting on the side of caution as far as like privacy. I don't know for sure. I would say accounting on just the side of caution, probably no. If we could omit any names of specific
okay,
people,
but
that would probably be the best option.
we could probably use masters who have ascended.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Sai Baba Muktananda Gandhi Ji, Mer Baba Ramana Maharshi, Osho Sen, the wave of love. He's happy with the sannyasi in heaven above. Dalai Lama, you and me, living in nirvana will set you free. And it goes on and on and on. And I thought, I have no idea where these things come from. They just sort of generate themselves connected to whatever we're thinking about, whatever seems fun, exciting, and important. And of course, laughter is a great meditation.
Laughter is definitely important. Thank you for sharing that. Did you write that?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Singer-songwriter since very, very young. and traveled around the world about 50 times doing music and gathering knowledge just so that we could have a meeting like the one we're in right now. Yippee!
Yay. Wonderful. Yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to discuss on the topic of spirit guides? Because we do have quite a bit of time.
Let me talk a little bit about our ancestors and what they do for us.
Okay, wonderful.
Hopefully, you had happy childhood memories. If not, you can start creating them right now. But most humans have some beautiful memories. And when ancestors visit us, they bring us praise, they add to our confidence, they try to help us make decisions, they'll whisper to us, they they can protect us too, just like angels. I have often felt, oh, my mother reached out and stopped me from going through that stop sign that I didn't exactly see. Mommy, did you help me there? If we're open to the ancestors coming to us, we'll have another dimension of understanding, and they help us remember good times. I've never heard of an ancestor coming in and saying, I'm going to help you remember something you'd like to forget. Never like that. They want us to remember what was wonderful and let us refer in our lifetimes to the things that brought joy and delight and sweetness to us. They'll help you.
Ancestor work is so powerful. I had mentioned in a previous podcast, I don't remember which one it was on, but one very simple ritual I used to do was when I make my morning coffee, I would, just take a moment to kind of meditate on it. And there's all kinds of stuff you can do with your morning coffee, by the way, spiritual things. In fact, I'm thinking about like talking more deeply on that topic myself on another upcoming thing. But anyway, one of the things I would do is I would just take a minute to meditate, enter that state of calm, that state of thoughtlessness, or whatever it is for you. And I would reach out to my ancestors and I would pour a little bit of my coffee outside on the ground as an offering to them, just saying, thanks for watching out for me. Thanks for being there with me. Thank you for, bringing me to where I am today. And that's just one simple thing you can do every day. You can do it a few times a week, and that can really deepen that connection you have with your ancestors, and get you in connection with them now, today, if you feel disconnected from them. And you don't have to know who they are either. You can just say your ancestors in general, or the ancestors that have your best interests at heart, or the ones that are aligned with the path that you currently walk. Because ancestors can come in many different forms. They can be your blood ancestors. They can be ancestors that are adopted. They can even be the ancestors of the path that you're walking. So if you don't know who they are, don't feel bad. But having that connection can really help build those strong spiritual bonds with the other side and with those that are ascended or those that want to help you throughout this lifetime.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Remember not too long ago, I said, even when you're having cafe au lait, that was a bingo. We caught each other there. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of coffee. There's so many things you can do spiritually, like coffee ground readings and tea leaf readings. We have a couple articles on Mysticsense all about that if you'd like more information on that. If you really, really want to get into it, you can empower your morning coffee while it's brewing. You can invoke the element of fire. You can do the water element. You can do the earth element for the coffee grinds. And you can charge it with your intention or your Reiki energy. Give that intent into it and drink it with intention. If you're curious about all this, coffee is very grounding. It's also very protective. And then you can give your offering and read the coffee grounds afterwards. They make a whole ritual out of it. There's so many things you can do with coffee or any beverage, really, because you can do these with tea as well. But that's just one simple way to connect with the ancestors. Having pictures of your physical ancestors around is a great way. I recently hung a picture up of my paternal grandparents. That is right in a public place that I see every single day. I walk by it multiple times a day. that can show honor to them as well. There's lots of ways to connect with them.
Beautiful. Their pictures, some of the articles, many things in here were given to me by famous rock stars and relatives, and their energy is still there. Someone came to tape a show and said, "Did you see that? They could feel all the spirits in the room." I said, "Yeah, there are probably at least 10 of them in here right now. They want to be part of it." My book talks about these guides, these energies, a million fascinating aspects of the life of a traveling bodhisattva. And it's a sort of a performance journey that had been incubating for a while, and then suddenly it just happened. And I hope anyone who's watching, who's got an idea that they should write a book, follows through and does it, because it's a cathartic, energizing, unique experience.
Wonderful. And once again, if you'd like to connect with Countess Nadia Starella, you can find her on Mysticsense. Just search her name. It's the same name right here. It's also linked in the description of this video, so make sure to check it out now, or when you're done, you can bookmark the page. Definitely check it out if you'd like to connect with her for more spiritual guidance or a personalized reading. What other services do you offer on Mysticsense?
Oh, well, I feel that being a polymath, if you don't know what that is, I love to put myself in the company of Da Vinci, someone who has studied almost everything. So they have a diverse body of knowledge and can help on various subjects. Romance counselor extraordinaire, tapping into the stream of consciousness where all the real wisdom and answers lie. Getting in touch with how to achieve prosperity, success, harmony in family relationships, expanded consciousness. Simply by entering the room of a master, your own powers increase. And as early as tomorrow, you will feel a new sense of love and peace and understanding and the ability to achieve those things that are so important to you. When one visits a site like ours, they're around a lot of people with wisdom and love and care and knowledge to share, and it will lift you up to new heights. Don't you agree?
Definitely. And there are so many different advisors that there is really something for everyone at Mysticsense. Wonderful. So we are going to wrap up then. Is there anything you'd like to share with our viewers tonight?
Remember that you have many missions on earth, and you will be able to achieve them, find fulfillment, stand in your power, claim your greatness, acknowledge who you are for all time. I am here beside you to guide you, to pray for you, to inspire you, and to radiate love and blessings forever and ever.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is Countess Nadia Starella from Mysticsense. I hope you enjoyed our podcast all about spirit guides. You learned some valuable things, how to connect with your own spirit guides. And don't forget to interact with us in the comments and share this podcast to those that you think will benefit as well. Thank you so much, Countess Nadia Starella, for being here tonight and sharing your wisdom. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next podcast series. Good night. Bye.